Welcome back. On Monday, Governor of the Central Bank of the Bahamas, John Roll, said the Bahamian economy should see moderate but stable growth in 2025. He shared numbers on the status of external reserves so far. Those are U.S. dollars, which are used to prop the Bahamian dollar and is an indicator of the government's ability to purchase and borrow on the international markets.
In particular, external reserves grew by about $171 million over the first quarter of 2025. And as at the end of April, we're approaching $2.8 billion, which is moderately less than the estimated $2.9 billion at this point last year. Over the remainder of 2025, the private sector is expected to make a net drawdown on the reserves due to an expected strengthening in credit growth to the sector.
As of April 2nd this year, the Trump administration had imposed a 10% tariff on Bahamian exports to the U.S. while also imposing increased tariffs on more than 100 other countries. Roll described possible effects the U.S. tariffs could have on the Bahamian economy.
The Bahamas could also experience slowing from weakened U.S. consumer confidence and its potential pass-through to lower travel demand. In addition, the inflation outlook for the Bahamas is potentially elevated as higher costs on goods imported into the United States would be expected to have some pass-through to increased costs on goods and services that the Bahamas sources from the United States. The risk of increased cost could also mount from supply chain disruptions, potentially from diverted or impeded trade flows.
So far for the year, the Bahamian economy is growing at a slower rate than expected. However, the central bank governor said there are no major concerns and no need for the central bank to take precautionary measures. Following the first quarter update by the central bank, opposition leader Michael Pintard, while outside Parliament on Wednesday, shared a few suggestions on what can be done to generate more robust economic growth.
Passengers. So we're saying there has to be a strategic plan, that we grow the number of the category of visitors that is responsible for more than 80% of the spend, that is the revenue that the country relies on. And so that means providing a greater amount of funding as well as credit to entrepreneurs that's involved in the heritage, the cultural tourism business, the ecotourism business, creating attractions that are compelling and world-class. Those are things that should be a part of any strategic plan.
Mr. Pintard also gave recommendations that an increase in the capacity of rooms is also necessary to make the change.
We also have to increase the number of rooms, and so there has to be a greater thrust in terms of boutique hotels where more Bahamians can become owners of our economy, particularly as hotel owners in boutique resorts. And then we should not seek to strangle the Airbnb market that Bahamians are also entering into.
Like tourism officials, the opposition leader Pintard also hopeful that the Bahamas would be able to attract more Canadians to the Bahamas as they may seek to overlook the United States as a result of their tariff dispute. The launch of the $1.2 million Joe Farrington Road Water Renewal project will significantly improve the water supply in the eastern New Providence community. Damian Francis, Deputy Director of the Ministry of Works, announced their collaboration with the Water and Sewage Corporation on this project.
We were advised by WSC that the existing water main needed to be replaced, and therefore we held back on repaving that road. We're now at a stage where we're going to proceed with installation of the new water main, and once that is complete, we will undertake to repave Joe Farrington.
Cyprian Gibson, Deputy General Manager at the Water and Sewage Corporation, shared an update on this critical infrastructure project that supports the health, safety, and economic viability of a number of communities in the eastern end of New Providence.
We will be installing approximately 6,000 feet of new 10-inch diameter PVC water mains along the full stretch of Joe Farrington Road from Bay Lily Road in the west, Seabreeze, Cool Acres to Fox Hill Road in the east. This will be completed by upgrading piping in the adjoining side corners, including some 100 feet of 8-inch PVC mains, some 100 feet of 6-inch PVC mains, 300 feet of 4-inch PVC mains, and 200 feet of PVC mains along the side streets.
This project is said to be addressing aging infrastructure on a major artery that serves both residential and commercial properties. Meanwhile, some business owners in the area have expressed concerns that the works will impact their operations. However, the government has made it their mission to tackle this existing problem. There has long been a cry to replace the colonial history textbooks in our schools with books written by Bahamians that tell the Bahamian story from a bird's eye view. That dream has been fulfilled as the Ministry of Education launched the new textbook titled The Bahamas History Towards a Common Loftier Goal. A very proud Prime Minister, Philip Davis, attended the launch at the Southern Recreation Ground and encouraged high school students to embrace Bahamian history and build upon it.
Let us be clear. This is not just about a textbook. This is about decolonizing our minds. And so I say to every student, we'll crack open these pages, learn it, own it, love it, see yourself in it, be proud of it, add your own chapter to it.
The Minister of Education, Glenys Hannah Martin, who spearheaded the project, was also beaming with pride and shared her own vision on what the textbook will do for Bahamian students now and into the future.
We want our young people to burst through mediocrity and break new ground. This new history text, in case you haven't seen it, we hope will help our young people to garner a greater sense of self and engender a deeper understanding of who they are and what they are and where they must go, and to incite a critical analysis of their own contextual reality.
The new textbook is said to be comprehensive in scope and includes events before and after independence and from the modern era of the New Bahamas, from politics to music, sports, religion, and more, all included in the book. The new textbook will enter the classrooms this year when school resumes in September. That'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jarino Saunders. It's been a pleasure to have you watch us. Please do join us again on Friday.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.